smaller. Well, wait.
You, Commodore, their stuff have a schematic.
Plenty of
What
that.
do you need?
This one is pretty good.
Okay.
Right, that's all. Who wants to take it out?
I can do it. This is beyond, a little bit beyond my expertise, so this is more me taking in information and learning. So, because I'll be honest, I've never actually replaced a capacitor before. So.
Oh goodness.
That's fun too.
There's a first time for everybody.
Yeah, and I don't think my first time is going to be on one of these.
There's start somewhere.
Right.
I have lots. I already repaired an O2, Octane, SCSI Iris. I have a R4000 that's the only one that I cannot get it to work yet. It's because the power supply have a control board and there's no schematic
Right.
for it.
Alright, so if you were to need a schematic, you'd have to make it yourself.
Yes. And the problem is that there's a couple of custom chips there that you cannot get anymore.
Oh man. Yeah, so the only way to get it is if you luckily run into a bad power supply and use
And I
those
can
chips.
get that board and
Yeah.
test it.
But my name's Cameron.
Cameron Francisco.
Sorry if I didn't introduce myself before this.
Oh,
Hey, Greg.
Sorry.
No problem.
Not a lot, just doing some power supply triage.
Oh, good. So what's wrong with it?
It's bad.
Alright, it's gonna boot.
And that's as far as we've gotten the diagnosis.
It's gonna work.
It's bad.
boot.
Yeah, I didn't even attempt to power it on, to be honest.
After a couple of
I just used the one that I knew was
I
good.
had a feeling I should have brought the Amiga
But that's
2000.
the other.
Yeah, always bring all the
I
gear.
should have.
With mine, I had it on for
I
an hour.
asked him like, hey, should we bring? He's like, do you
Oh,
have
yeah.
the thing out of the power supply? And he's like, oh no, it's fine.
The
It's
edge
fine.
connector.
Yeah, I guess I should have said, yeah, I'd bring it.
The more the merrier.
I mean, it looks good.
Electrolyte capacitor after a while they start
But
losing,
yet it has a problem.
electricity.
Yeah,
so
look for a dark spot, maybe.
start fluctuating.
Don't see that.
Right.
And
Yeah.
after a while, when you have them running, they start getting
Mhm.
normal.
Uh-huh.
But I don't see anything here that can tell me it's that. Maybe the hard drive that.
I've had an old one before that.
Looks good.
Don't see any obvious signs of failure, huh?
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, we don't see any leaky cap goo, nothing smells weird.
I don't see.
No leaks.
You don't see any cold solder
I do
joints.
smell something, but
It was just eventually gonna get slower and slower, and it was never gonna meet
Yeah.
speed.
Should have bring a multimeter in, check the
Yep.
caps. They look okay, but I still would say replace them.
The other one, and it's.
It's a 30-year-old. There's no escape here. I don't see anything. Now, these Moffats,
The other one,
I will say that they have to be checked after 30 years old. One of these have to be the thermostat unit. If that thermostat unit, what it does is check the thermostat internally, and if it goes higher or lower, it will
so
shut
it's
down.
a temperature regulator.
Yes. Another thing that when it will be nice to check if that fan is running.
Right.
If the fan is not running and getting overheated, it's gonna shut down.
You got one of those cards?
Yeah, I got
I don't remember. There's a way to jump these and get the unit booting. Do you know?
On the ATX power supplies, I know that if you,
Yeah, but
This
I don't
sounds
know
crazy,
in the
but-
Amiga.
yeah.
I do remember seeing Retro Man Cave doing an Amiga 4000 power supply unit. Like
Out of
taking
like a-
ATX into that.
Yeah, I've got a similar thing on mine.
Yeah.
This part.
Although I'm not as lucky to own Amiga 4000.
Drive.
The beauty of this one is that it's not like the SGIs or anybody. The SGI,
And then.
as soon as you plug it in and you turn it on, the machine doesn't turn on.
Right.
This is always
Found,
energized.
Chris Edwards.
So at least this have it cut out. So
Basically, I found what he did, what he recommended doing, so.
Now, would a regular like
I bought it, I got the
PC power
disc-
supply
I
work?
bought the disc from them.
Like
Yeah.
like
Because I read
a
somewhere-
power supply from an AT?
you know, sometimes that problem.
That's a good question. You have to see about the specs and the lines and
You have to
everything.
check the specs, you have to check the
Because
layout.
I'm not an expert on this stuff.
Tried another
But
one, but.
I did notice, like on the motherboard, the connector seems to be the same as an AT power supply connector for like a 286 motherboard or something like that.
It says no SD card. Even
Right.
though I had a whole bunch of SD cards, but I can actually clean it and then format it and then put the image on it.
All right, no,
And when I did that, those three things,
Uh-huh,
those were the
okay.
So,
Mm.
I sent an email to the guy saying, hey,
Uh-huh.
or before I figured out that.
So in the, this is for
Right.
4,000?
It's for 2,000.
For 2,000?
Yes.
They didn't give me.
Okay.
Find anything.
As soon as you turn around here, the machine turn on?
I haven't plugged it up or even tried to attempt it.
And I don't have a 2,000, so I cannot tell you. That's why I'm
Yeah.
asking.
Right.
So,
Turn it off for 30 seconds and turn it.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can jump this.
Spindleistic
Yep.
questions.
Right.
So, I figured it out.
An episode of MacGyver might help.
have to be somebody.
Because the image I had on there, I used.
Because I don't have a 2,000, I never check out the
images
stuff
seem to
for
be
it, so.
Good
Yeah,
images.
all my images work
Yeah.
too, was the thing.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah, I don't mind replacing like the power supply or rebuilding it. That's not a problem for me. It's just, you know,
Right.
you have to get it working somehow.
What I've done with the cards to prepare them
Mm-hmm.
for SCSI USB.
Doesn't look like any,
Did not, those cards didn't work.
Okay.
And also just taking the old cards
It's
and
been
It just-
sponsored by Fanta
and then
Pineapple.
copy the image to it. That is not here.
Right. You had to clean it.
And a quick.
All right. Well, maybe try and do that. I don't know. Well, let's Rick.
Francisco,
I can plug
if
it
you go
in.
to-
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
John Hurdle,
First time. Releasing these ones.
Thing on how to make, how to build an
Hmm.
image for SCSI to Steve.
That's so weird.
The only reason I thought of that was.
So you actually like
Yes.
recording, or is that like a live stream?
It's live streaming.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
Mhm.
Never plugged one when I was in college.
You're wearing the wrong shirt.
I am definitely wearing the wrong shirt. I actually
my
realized
friends
this, and I was,
have
and I told David about it. I'm like, am I gonna stir up any conflictions with my Atari shirt?
No, I mean,
It's
Greg
the only,
is.
I have an Amiga shirt. Funny enough, I have an Amiga shirt. The problem is that my friend who makes
Now I have a full collection of the
Mhm.
made it one size too small for me. So
Oops.
so
Looks like a muscle shirt, huh?
yeah, it's more like a shirt for me to go to sleep in.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Well, you know, as I got older, the light will take an LED on it. The LED will flash.
That's what I did.
3,000, 4,000,
Yeah. It seems like it recognizes.
All my
it,
friends
but
have the
it's just not.
8500 or the.
It was basically doing the same thing
I think
as
it
it was
but
before.
I'm moving to do it at that time.
Was that?
So I went to
32.
my target was
Yes.
from Atari to Bobby
Well, I didn't
System,
partition it,
Commodore
64.
64.
I put a file on there with
128.
the,
I still have.
it's the two files, operating system, is
Always
VH1
wanted an
batch.
Amiga, but
VH1
at that point, it was already growing and
of
everybody was moving to PC. so.
3.888, something like that.
So now I have a 500, 600, and a 12.
Yeah.
All right, here's my timer about to run out, so it's gonna go beep beep.
I think this was supposed to.
Okay,
be okay.
cool.
Which one do you like the most?
I guess I'll go check on the stuff in the back.
What kind of work in the back?
So the thing that I did is I broke all my opinions because I
Mhm.
was just wearing
4 o'clock is when. Yeah, totally. And you don't have to stay the whole time. You can always leave whenever you want.
This is my first time here, so
Cool.
I'm gonna take everything as part of the can. This
Nice.
video is not sponsored by Phantom Pineapple.
Yeah, I mean, your hand's over the thing anyway, so nobody knows what it is.
Catch the wave.
Catch the
I was
wave.
gonna bring it, but I wanted to bring it with a 500, and I was waiting for a cable, and they just showed it.
Okay.
Next time.
Yeah, I think the only-
But I have the additional
Like
board
16-bit
here.
computers I actually have working, which-
I'm really
Mhm.
gonna sell them.
16-bit,
I don't need
16-bit.
one.
Or at least from that era, is
These,
Apple IIGS and Atari ST. I want to get the
so for the A500, these are
Amiga
the combination.
next.
That'd be cool.
At the same
That way
time,
you can put
I was
these
going to
in
get an
there.
IBM, not an IBM, but a 286 clone.
Yep.
But
Small cable to
I
the
had some water damage and it's completely destroyed the motherboard. So
Oh no.
throwing a 386 in there.
Got a lot of corrosion out.
Yeah.
Alright, it looks like, if you want, we can stick a paper clip in one of the ground wires, which is blue, and then the black wire.
Isn't that what David did with his power supply for the executive workstation?
No, he actually used the paper clip on hot and neutral.
Yeah, on the actual 120.
The fuse for it.
And we got a paper clip.
The pi on top of that.
So we could find a jumper wire in the back.
From the HDMI.
Airpin.
I could check something though, what you're trying to, I'm gonna go check my car, I guess.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
That, if I knew that, I would have bring a couple of tests.
No, it's fine. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were going to.
Yeah, I should have brought my own equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of equipment? I mean, we got a bunch of stuff in the back.
I've got
Multimeter,
Mhm.
yeah, at least a multimeter,
Mhm.
we need that, and a way to see if we can jump it.
Yeah.
I got
Well,
pretty much a bare bones Amiga 2000.
one of y'all mind
Just
holding the
motherboard
gimbal
and
again?
PS2, That's it.
Okay. Okay, here goes.
With the
Yeah, it's
with the
jumping
case,
materials.
that's it. I don't have anything else. Although I do have like a just, I guess for aesthetic purposes.
That's right.
Have you seen this place yet or
So we
not?
have
Yeah.
this
Okay,
over
cool.
there from the PC.
But, I'm not subscribed here, so
Yeah, that's all right.
I cannot go and grab anything.
Yeah. You're good. I got it covered. What do I completely short this one?
Yeah, I have been, most of all my retro stuff, I have rebuilt it, specifically the PSU. And the Amiga, the small, those can be rebuilt pretty easy or replaced. The Commodore 2, this one I would say try to build and rebuild it, but I haven't seen anything. This is 120, this is the 5 to 12 conversion.
You may not need the power for that. Some of those have Terminator power.
Uh-huh.
That board will run off Terminator power if
Okay.
your cable's providing it.
I don't know if it is or not.
You get a
I
yellow,
just
you get a
plugged
yellow
it
flash
in.
almost immediately if it
Okay,
is.
let's
so,
try it like that then.
yeah.
I wasn't sure, it didn't really, the documentation wasn't that,
Yeah,
good.
there's only 3 sections of the documentation.
They don't have like
Don't
a-
have anything in it, don't even have any words yet. So,
Do you, I'm gonna ask this question.
Mhm.
So we have a USB here.
Right.
Did you plug it into your computer and run the setups and settings?
No, I hadn't, I just basically did the,
This one doesn't have, like the SCSI USD, it's got a text file on the card that will do all the settings for you. So, it will power through the USB.
Will power this, so you don't do the settings or anything like the SCSI USB?
No, you just edit a text file that's on the card, and then.
So how do you tell it what kind of hard drive it's gonna emulate, or this is an image kind of base?
I set the text file on the card.
Okay? It's completely different. The one that I use
Oh,
is
yeah,
SCSI USB.
power on.
I know, I've
Alright,
got
hopefully
both.
this'll
I
be
actually
good
like
in
this
terms
one.
of your wire.
Sweet. Go.
If not, then find other wire. There's plenty of wire you can splice back there anyway.
the other one there
I
too.
do have one
Cleaning
question.
the cards before you put the image.
Here's the old
Two,
one.
actually.
Mhm.
So first, when is the next meeting of this happening?
It's the second Tuesday of next month.
Second Tuesday next month?
Sorry, not Tuesday, Saturday.
Saturday. No, Tuesday.
I'm thinking Tuesday, second day of the week. Nope, second Saturday. You know, they used to be on Mondays, actually, like Monday at 7 p.m. or something.
Right.
Now it's on
And then the other one
Saturdays.
is, and I'm thinking about video output options for 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's, when I'm looking at that monitor over there. Very cool. And I've got I've got a rebadged, like a Magnavox Professional
Why'd you pick up so many?
monitor that's.
Because I was gonna, the problem.
I don't remember the
Yeah.
You need a minimum
actual
of 5.
model of it.
Yeah, I was trying to think, it's
I can look it up real quick, but it's not that one.
Mhm.
It's a little bit older, it's for like a 64 128.
sure.
Yeah,
1702 probably.
I got another
I
500.
think so, but it has an RGBI connection.
I got another 500, I'll be set.
So that would probably be all right.
What do you have?
Basically,
I don't know if it.
what the thing is, on your notes on the back here,
Yeah.
2000, you have a 23 or
An
23
ultra
pin.
thing pin.
I do have.
Yeah, 23 pin thing that goes in the 9 pin thing
It'd
on
probably be
there.
Yeah,
500.
but the thing is that for that monitor, it uses a round.
The BNC style thing.
It goes from like the standard RGBI to like a round connector. So
Like a BNC connector, like a little cable going out.
something like a DIN connector.
Okay. Oh, interesting. So it's a little bit different then.
Yeah, I think I have it.
Is it like a
I have a really
9 pin or
old
16
post
pin?
on my
And the 2500.
Mhm.
Huh.
showing it off.
That's funny, you don't hear very much about 2500s here, but.
Well, the
there.
card wasn't in all the
But I
way.
gotta go all the way.
Okay.
They got really
Thought it
famous
was,
because
but
of the
it
video
wasn't.
those.
Try it again.
Yeah.
So a lot of the
Five
companies and
links is
stuff that bought
there.
them.
So here it
got
is.
them with the video
Yeah.
poster.
Here it is.
Here's the front- here's the front of it.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
And
Good.
then
pretty calm.
I
we
thought
go
the card went all the way.
So cool.
way back, cause then I showed a little bit of the back.
Sounded like retro battle stations or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm somewhat active on there, not as much anymore, but I used to.
Bring it off.
I think I made one post there ever.
Yeah.
A lot of social to keep
I
up
know.
with.
And you,
Yeah.
To say the
Does this need to
least.
be hooked up?
oh, okay.
Off?
Because it's basically, yeah.
I'm not really much of a social media guy. I do
Yeah.
Facebook,
Way.
barely.
It's basically-
Twitter, not
yeah,
at
on
all.
the fly.
I do like Reddit and some other stuff.
All right, go ahead.
Weird. I heard something.
Okay.
That's good.
You got it shorted yet or no? We don't. Okay.
It would be nice, do we have a power cord?
I can grab one from the back, or else there's maybe one over there on this deck.
No, let's try to reboot it. Came up to the ROM screen.
Well, they all lead
Reading the
inside.
SCSI bus.
It's trying to read.
Yeah, it's reading the bus.
Yeah, they're,
Find out all the.
They're all attached from the
So it's
inside.
attached.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back in the back and grab one.
Yeah.
Wouldn't mind holding
Probably, I'm sure.
this gimbal, and you can do left, right, up, down with the
Yeah,
whole.
sorry for coming unprepared, Steven.
Oh, that's pretty
all right.
cool.
That's all right.
Forgot already.
I gotta give me one of these.
So what are the settings in that text file, like SCSI ID, Terminator on and off?
It's got a lot of stuff in there. I don't remember. You can set multiple drives.
Keep wanting to like tilt it with my hand.
So it doesn't use, you use these images, sounds like it.
Yeah, that's usually image, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, you can
so
have,
it's not like the SCSI ID that use the SD to build a hard drive itself.
No, it's completely not like that, yeah.
Okay. So sounds like the blue SCSI.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have, I mean, I think it sets up with, you have your image which can have multiple partitions in it.
Mhm.
But you can also have, multiple drives. A drive is a drive per file, I mean, just have to name them all.
Did you select the one that you want to boot off from?
Yeah, you put the drive and then 0 is like the first one that we'll try, and it puts, I think, you can either tell it which bus and device it is in the text file. Or
Try it one more
You can put it in the
time.
file name or something.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're both good. Yeah, so.
Same thing.
Yeah, I'm just curious, it doesn't show up with the 2-finger hold
No.
like before, so.
Hmm.
All right, that's what I kinda thought, just wanna make sure.
But the people that make that board have a specific configuration for Amigas that you remember?
I don't think there's a whole lot special in the text file that I got to work. quite clear what we were gonna be doing here. I could have just brought it. It's just a small thing.
Bring the SD card, do it,
Oh,
copy and type it,
I was
that's
happy to
it.
bring the working SD card that I had.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, I didn't know. So
Do a duplicate and you're set.
Oh, perfect.
Done.
Yeah.
There's a cable.
All right, so you said. go
Wow.
and-
So you got it.
This is probably one of the
You know, these
single
types of cables
coolest
never last
thing,
very long.
coolest, most
You know
useless
it's
thing
not
for
like
me
they get
I
cut
would
up
ever
or
buy.
Oh man.
What is the
Because I got like a bunch of these at home. Alright, so we'll put this into this one, I guess, and then toss that all over.
Oh,
Is it freaking
okay.
out on you? Sometimes that gimbal spaz out.
Okay. It just, there we go.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes it hates you.
This thing is seriously
Ready?
cool.
Thank you.
And now it's upside down.
It should put itself right back up. Let's see.
Well,
It looks like it's.
hey.
Hey.
So it
Well,
doesn't
at
really-
least on here it looks upside down to me.
Oh, no, you see, it's looking good to me. This is a live view.
This is not my normal computer, this is my daughter's old computer that I just got.
Black is common.
Okay, wait, you just got that one?
Okay.
We don't have black here.
It's not
Which
bad.
one is
Black
this?
and all. Feel free to come up and.
All right, yes.
Probably.
I still have
Oh,
an
this is
upside down
very
view, so I'm having to.
I wouldn't highly sweat it. I'm gonna go into the back and change out some of the fluid in this ultrasonic cleaner. I'll be right
Oh
back.
god.
Yeah, it got yucky, but it's dissolving a lot of nasty junk. It's freezing up some mechanisms for me.
Oh, nice. Never thought in my life I'd be a cameraman. I'm gonna try and see if I can
1, 2, 3.
fix
So the boom sounds like it's the ground.
this. No. Hold on, viewers. It's gonna get a little weird. There. Oh, now it's doing it again.
Had to go and automatically correct itself. I didn't like that.
Yep, it looks fine on stream.
At least that. Well, we got a fan at least.
That's 5 volt. That looks fine.
Maybe it says bad, it's not actually bad, and I just
5 volt.
freaked out for no reason.
5 volts. This to be. Okay, this one is not good. That should be negative 12. But that can be compensated when you plug in the machine. So
Okay.
this should be 5 volts. Yeah, that looks fine. That should be 5 volts
Yeah, that's
too.
what I was, taskbar
Yeah.
7. I mean, sorry,
All these should be 5 volts.
there we go.
5 volts. So the only one in question is this one. That's the another. Okay, maybe it was because I didn't have it. It's kind of high, but 19.
RT.
That should be negative 12. At
Yeah,
that
yeah.
point, I would say that the power supply looks fine. I would say recap it.
Right.
Because you're getting a little bit too high in the negative 12. Every other, everything else looks fine.
Okay, perfect.
I would say recap it. The way, had you ever done a recap on it?
Never done a recap in my entire life.
Different?
I've done recaps on other things, just
Okay.
not an Amiga 2000.
I can give you my information if you want. I can do the. I'll tell you the prices later, but I can do the recap.
Okay. Although I'd like to learn how to do it. 'cause
Now,
I'd like
if you want to do it, it's not difficult. You just have to have a good soldering iron, get the tools.
Yeah. I
Because
have
you-
a soldering iron. I don't know how good in terms
Okay.
in the context of this is.
I would say get a caliper. Something that you can measure.
Okay.
The important here is the diameter of the capacitor, and if you can see, this is the negative side. The other side is the positive.
Which
Whatever
one's
is
the
that had the line is the negative.
All right.
Okay. In the side of each capacitor, you will find the voltage and the capacitance.
Okay.
You need to order the same one, or
Right.
a little. You can go higher on the voltage, but no lower, and the capacitance has to be the same. That
Okay.
cannot change. Okay, and you can get those from Mauser here in Texas.
I wish Tanner Electronics was still open.
I get them all from Mauser, man. You
Yeah.
can go ahead and pick it up.
Maybe we should
or-
go to Micro Centers.
No, I would say.
I'm not trashing Mauser. I like Mauser.
Yeah.
But I was just saying that Tanner used to be around the corner.
Yeah, totally true.
And they got soldering stations here, by the way.
Yeah.
That's totally
Talk
true.
to Steve and see if he can hook you up.
I would say, just take your time, take pictures,
Right.
take it apart, and write all the capacitance and the voltage for all the capacitors, and swap them. Get the new one, and before you plug it in, do the same thing that I did.
Okay.
Plug it in and measure before you put it into your live machine. But it looks like it's working, man.
Okay. That's cool. Maybe it was just labeled bad, like I said. It was just labeled
I would
bad,
say
it just
that the
works.
only thing weird was that it maybe compensate after everything is running.
I guess we can try it out once we get back.
Yeah, right.
But it looks like it's working.
Okay.
But that's this red line that is supposed to negative 12 is negative 19. You saw
So
that.
viewers, in case you ever wanted to figure out how to replace an Amiga 2000 power supply, there you go. Or at least recap.
Well, this one looks like it's working. I just recap it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of retro computing videos to know that everyone says it's better to replace the caps now than have a bad doing it when you have a bad day.
And if you want to be slightly safer, you can always plug it into a variac and just slightly increase the voltage over time.
Right.
Another stuff that people do in really old is the MOSFETs.
The what?
MOSFETs transistors.
Oh,
These
okay.
are MOSFETs. And you can order those. Those are still available. And,
Okay.
and replace them if you want. It's a common way. I would say that the simplest, the cheapest way, replace the capacitors
Okay.
and give it a try. But it sounds like it's working, man.
Sweet.
Appreciate it. Sounds like the technician may have been a sketchy character.
Well, you never know. That's
Yeah.
right.
Or who knows? Maybe
Another thing-
maybe
may
10
have
years
done that.
ago they could have.
Let's plug it in.
May have done it after a long while.
Maybe
let's do
10
this.
years ago, whoever had this last, may have
Let's cover it up.
replaced them already
Let's.
with some different ones.
It doesn't look like it was replaced. What we can do here, just in case it's temperature issue, let's
Well, let's see if it blows up.
plug it in. Let's power up and let it
Upside
run
down.
for. Leave it running for a couple of minutes. See what happens.
Sounds good to me. So it's on. I thought you would have to jump it.
Sounds like that's what I asked. I know that the ATX, that's when everything starts. You need to jump something. Maybe in
Yeah.
the old days.
Okay, it's one of those instances where you just power
Power
the power
on.
supply. Okay,
I know in the old
that makes
days-
sense.
In the old days, you didn't have to jump.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Well, at least
about.
it's going smoothly up to this, but I'm not going to jinx anything.
Regulation voltage, right, without a resistor.
That's my point. And that's what I think it happened. Maybe the person that was testing it, the capacitor maybe start giving out. If there's a weird regulation in those capacitors, then this maybe have a self break that will shut down. So, for example, the SCSI power supplies,
Yeah.
they verify the rails. So if one of the rails goes lower than the spec that they have, it goes down. It powers down. No power up.
Here,
Neither
I'm
than the
gonna hand this
machine.
off to you.
Sure thing.
I want to get your information real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
Doing anything, properties, not,
No?
Are you in the Discord? The
Discord
Commodore group,
view.
Discord group?
I have not been a part of the Discord. Where's my phone? It's right here.
Shouldn't jump there. It's brand new, it's not.
Right.
Nope, wrong one.
It's supposed to work, right? Put your volume on it, whenever it's formatted.
I would think so.
Look for. Dallas CUG.
Dallas CUG. Okay.
Well, she's not
DCUG.
DCUG.
I use a different app.
Okay.
I think that's how they. Yeah, Dallas Commodore user group.
It's not showing up at all.
Dallas Commodore users group. Gotcha. Okay.
Omnius. Oh crap.
There it showed up.
I've got 2001: A Space Odyssey music going on over here.
No.
Well, we cleaned it. They're supposed to be able to put a simple volume back on it. But it's
Simple
not-
volume 532 is what you mean?
Yeah, but if this laptop isn't doing the simple volume.
I can do it in mine.
One more time here.
Let me know.
Yeah, if you want to try it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good these videos though.
It seems like I'm having trouble finding it.
YouTube, and it was 8K or?
Oh, the Discord server?
Yeah, it's a Discord.
I'm on it, so I can send you an invite.
Okay.
What's that?
4K HDR.
Hey, where's Steven?
What is your name in Discord? Maybe I can send it to you.
I want to dox myself on stream.
Ejecting it, but can't find it.
My name is Cameron. I live in Dallas, so good luck.
Maybe he's got a meter.
It's all good, man.
There you go.
It's just got a slot right there, so they didn't need the adapter.
You hear that basically streaked through our solar system a few years ago.
You have to have the tag up
And it
the
passed through, I was like,
The number? I didn't know. You can see that I don't invite too many people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
Like that?
the fastest meteorite
Yes.
I've ever
Oh wait. 7 8 is 7
7?
0 7 6. Yeah, there you go.
Did they send it? And they delete it.
Hey. Here you go. I think it's switched off because it just.
Oh, the gimbal
loose
freaked
now.
out?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me finish it.
Yeah, it gimped out, didn't it? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
we'll.
So I had to kind of just try to hold it at a good position.
Yeah. So usually what we'll do is just kind of restart the gimbal and then it'll swing back into place and then we can
Cool.
just tap the power button twice and it'll swing back into
Sorry if this makes you motion sick.
a. It is what it is. I mean, it kind of does this though. Handles it pretty well.
Yeah, by the way, Steven, this is the thing I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the connector type?
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
DIN connector on the end there.
It looks like, okay. Yeah, several DINs on there.
Yeah, because I've got the cable to go to like a 128, but I don't have one to go like an Amiga or something. So I'm wondering if I can do like the RGBI and then connect. I know there's one being sold online, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it'll accept connecting that cable to go there.
Yeah, because it could be different signals going to different DIN pins, right? Yeah, that's the problem. That would be unfortunate. That's a lot of DIN pins, and you know that's one of my least favorite things to solder.
Hook it into a VGA monitor. I just feel like that would be a little bit more appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely going to be hard to sync it into a VGA.
That was just sitting here when I was.
But one of the things you can always try is to get one of those little flicker fixer things.
Okay.
InDivision makes a particular scan doubler and flicker fixer for the
300.
for the what?
For the InDivision, whatever.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but you know what? Actually,
It's a flicker fixture for 2000.
there is, yeah.
Well, no, you can get the
HDMI thing.
2620
Yeah.
card with the camera branded
Mhm.
fixture too.
Gotcha. Yeah, if Chris were here, he would tell you all about the HDMI solution that he's got in his 2000.
Well, I want to get a ZZ9000. Have you seen that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So expensive.
That looks amazing. I want to get one, but that's a long way off. That's like the price of a modern day graphics card today.
I was tempted, but then I'm like, what am I going to do with it? And also, which one do I want?
So I have, in my 2000, I do have the 2620 flicker card. So I can do it.
I'm gonna buy the InDivision one for the A1200.
Mm-hmm.
But for the A600 and for the A600, I put this in.
Yeah.
And you know, I got tired of dealing with the scalers and getting a 15 megahertz string. So
I'm not going around until I got a couple of these, and so I plug in this.
A couple of those is just the space.
It does. And it looks so nice.
I'm going to shut
It
this
looks
off,
so
I
nice.
guess,
I'm
huh?
not gonna tell you, it's just-
Okay.
Oh, you turn it off?
Yeah, we don't need it running anymore, do we?
I was gonna leave it running for a little bit.
Oh, okay, cool.
And check.
Let's leave it running then.
So we check out the rails. All the rail looks good. I said the negative 12. So
They got the 12 and the minus 12 and all the jazz, I
the
guess.
minus 12 is a little bit high, but I think that is recap.
Yeah.
Everything else looks fine.
It's showing up on my
Cool.
computer.
Well,
What's going on with this thing?
let's hope it doesn't blow up after a few hours. It was shorting after a few hours.
You see now it's
That's what it
marking
says on the
negative
top.
7
Oh yeah, shorts.
in the negative 12.
Yeah,
That you
negative
can
12
see.
looks a bit like minus 7, huh?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that can be recap.
Yeah.
Everything else looks, that's 5, and that's negative 5. This is gonna be 5. Yeah, 5,
Mm-hmm.
5, 5.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Well, good.
I will say that I will do a recap before testing this.
Yeah, before I do that, I'm having to actually save up for a new card because my car's decided to crap out 2 days ago.
Lovely.
Sorry. Yeah, this stream is definitely not sponsored by Kia.
Oh no.
The e-machines of the car world.
Oh my gosh.
See it?
Yeah.
David, did I ever tell you the story of when I had a Kia back in college? Well, it was my roommates, really, and the damn thing blew up in a White Castle drive-thru.
Oh, really?
Like, it just set itself on fire.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, to the point where by the time the fire department came, the whole thing was just engulfed.
Yeah, it's a Kia, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Mhm.
But look, I heard of a story. I'm not.
It was a 2002 Kia Sedona.
Oh,
2002?
my Kia is a Kia Rondo 2009.
Oh my gosh.
It's lasted like 10, 20, 10, 15.
They last forever, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they last long.
Well, they last forever until it's the most inconvenient time.
What happens on it?
It seems like something went wrong with the drive shafts, like the computer can't correct. It's supposed to probably go up like that at higher speeds, and it can't do that.
Oh, good. You have like a
Making,
max 8
jittering
problem.
noise.
Huh. And they can't figure it out, whoever's looking at it. Huh?
Yeah, well, it's either that or it's like a $500 repair, and nah.
I get you. Yeah.
Because you know, if that's going to go, you know, what's the chances something else is going to go in the next 2 weeks or 3 months or something?
Gotta reach that stage. I get you.
Yeah, it's got 180,000 miles on it.
Not bad.
That's definitely not bad for a Kia.
Yeah. Well, like I was telling him in the car, you know, as long as it's lasted this long, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
That stuff stood up like.
I'm going for like a Ford, a Grand Marquis or something like that from
Yeah, I saw myself a little bit.
2004-ish.
Yeah, I had us on camera for a second.
Yeah, I've got a 2011 Kia, and it did really great. Yeah, Kia Soul.
Right.
And it recently got swiped by a drunk driver while we were at
Oh,
the traffic.
bummer.
So I'm getting it worked on though. I think they
hopefully
can get it rolling.
Drunk driver is how do you say this lightly?
In jail.
Involuntarily helping fund
Another way that
that.
we can do that. is
Oh, yeah.
Put it to a Google
Their
Drive.
insurance currently
And
is.
I can download
Hey, look, it shows we got 6 or 7 people watching the stream. That's a pretty high number compared to usual. We should show them something
Usually on
cool.
my streams, I'm only getting one person.
Oh, no.
One or two at max.
Mhm.
So, man, you're really rolling.
This is doing good. You know, the subscriber count's ticking upward. For sure.
Yeah, as a man that only has, what, 45 subscribers?
Ooh.
Although I
You
do
gotta
have
get
one of
yourself
my
some
videos
more.
on 12,000 views, which I'm like, holy crap.
Oh, wow.
12,000 people has watched my videos.
It's not bad.
But did you have
I've
one?
got one here. I just thought I'd reboot it, maybe.
It's a plate of fruit.
That is a very stream-worthy bit over there.
No kidding.
Although I think it would be me nitpicking here, but I think it would be more appropriate to have Amiga demos running on there. Like demo scene demos.
Of course.
I think love of graphics is kind of a Amiga thing, though. You know, 'cause I mean,
Yeah.
Amiga kind of got the ball rolling. So where are we at today?
I mean, yeah.
The video
Well,
toaster was revolutionary.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing that I will never understand it. I don't think anyone else will understand it. How did Commodore screw up one of their biggest holy grails? I mean, they could have been the next Apple with this thing if they had actually.
Bad management?
Retro computer companies just did not know how to do it, man. They were a mess. Commodore and Atari both.
Yup.
That's just.
Well, I have a feeling that, you know, because the PC was becoming more and more out there, I think even had Commodore managed it right, they probably would have gone the same route as Atari did.
Oh yeah.
You know, maybe they would have lasted a little bit longer, but I think they should have become, you know, maybe some of the first 3D accelerator cards, maybe the first sound cards. I mean, they would have blown every single other card out of the water with, you know, their.
A lot of interesting cards when you look at the big book of Amiga, I guess.
Right. You know, could you imagine like a PC sound card with Amiga,
What's going on?
an Amiga sound chip? Like how good games would sound with that.
I think.
I mean, I mean, it's essentially sort of wavetable, right?
Yeah. I can see that. Hi to those people in the chat.
Did you get a chance to mess around with any of the hard drive things
the
or
problem
not?
that Atari and Commodore both ran into
Yeah,
is
trying to get it
to
they
work,
introduced
Swinging
things,
around a
you
whole
know,
bunch
they
weirdly.
developed these
Oh,
really
no,
cool
the bar's in the
computers
way
out of
now.
the box, and then they just kind of modified
There we
them
go.
slightly. And
Yeah,
they-
I mean,
they didn't really.
but essentially, I mean, that's what PC was doing, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they were making moderate jumps. They weren't really making graphical leaps and bounds like consoles were back then.
Yeah.
So, Commodore make a couple of little mistakes, that's right. You had the 64 that did awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was kicking everybody.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
The 128 came about, but the 128 came about when everybody was moving into the 16-bit era.
So it just kind of got swept underneath.
So, yeah, it was completely, and nobody developed for the 80 column, that's right. People are still buying the stuff for the 64 and put it in the 128.
Mhm.
So nobody took advantage of the potential of the 128. So it was a great machine, I think that was pretty cool, but
Well, my dad actually got a 128 back in the Navy, and back when he got out of the Navy, that was what the Navy supply store had to offer was a 128, and so he bought it thinking, it was up to the task, but he thought, during that time, it was already out of date and then he got through the university a Apple Mac.
Yeah.
The university gave him a Mac, but he then
Pretty generous
gave that
gift.
128 to my grandfather, and my grandfather used that as his main business machine for the next 20 years. So I actually inherited all of the 128 stuff from him, all the way back down. And then right now, I think it's only suffering from a bad. What's the chip that does the paddle controls?
So the SIA.
Yeah, that chip.
Yeah.
It suffered from a bad one of those, and so I'm trying to have to get that replaced.
So I used my 64 up to the second year of college. So I'm telling you, Amiga was a great invention. It was kicking the butt of everybody.
Right.
They didn't know how to market it. Did you see all the marketing stuff?
Yeah. No,
It was
I've seen
horrible.
the Amiga marketing. But I mean, this was back in the day when the internet didn't exist. So marketing was pivotal. You had to know what you were doing.
Another thing is all the stuff that Commodore did in the meantime, using they tried to gain the same amount of game developers like they were having in the Commodore 64.
Right.
So they did the CD32. They did the Macs. They did all these systems that didn't
Nobody
sell.
wanted.
So,
I mean, in my opinion, what they should have done or could have done is added backwards compatibility for the Commodore 64. I'm sure that would have boosted some sales.
Yeah. Those weren't,
But
a lot of those
until-
computers weren't powerful enough to do that kind of emulation, though.
Well, not software, but hardware. I mean, you have the Apple II on that board, right? For the
But-
I know they have for the PC and a
So,
few other ones.
if you remember, that if you buy a 2000, you can put a card to emulate, run a complete Macintosh system. You can
Oh,
put
yeah.
a card to run a PC.
Cross
So
DOS,
that was
cross
not the issue. The issue is that they didn't know how to tell the people that was available.
Right.
They're a little different. if it's a hard drive.
That was the issue. The people that knew about Amiga, everybody knew about it.
It's the same
But
thing, it's just-
Nobody knew.
nobody in business or
That should be the.
Well, also
You know
nobody
anything.
could get their hands on it. I mean, 1000 came out, and it was like what?
put this in safe mode.
Yeah.
2 years before that thing came out. 2 years later, like 1987. I mean, that's way late. It's like having like an Xbox. Well, I'd say like having an Xbox One X and then having the Xbox One S like 2 years later. Something extremely expensive versus something that's actually affordable. As a matter of fact, whereas I think it should have been the other way around, or at least they should have came out at the same time.
They made mistakes.
Mhm.
That's what it
That was
was.
that Commodore thing. Commodore wanted to use the Amiga as a business machine, so 1000 was more business-like to them than this one.
I mean, well, I think the higher ups at Commodore failed to realize that games were the biggest market out there. That's why people were buying them. I mean,
Well, except did we see it like that? I mean, IBM was making a bunch of money and they couldn't
I'm
even
not qualified
make
to
it
say,
work.
What they were doing. I mean, I never grew up during that point, but from what I've seen from multiple videos and research, in my opinion, that's really what it should have been.
Yeah, if you look at the Amiga 1000, look for Commodore, you won't see it anywhere on.
Right.
Because we knew that wasn't going to sell to businesses. When you get to 500, there was a Commodore right there in.
The 500 sound like a lot. The 2500, everything that include the video toaster sold like crazy for video
Oh, yeah.
production. So they were doing fine. It's just that the company didn't know how to manage.
Right.
To start putting out the machines with different models too. The 600, the 600 HD. Come on, it's the same machine. Just
I mean, you have the 500, you have the 600, which
almost
a lot of
they
people back
they
then
almost
that say,
it's the
oh,
same
we
machine.
really hate this machine and it should have never come out because it's essentially just a 500 in a smaller case. But in my opinion, it's really a 500 plus just in a different case.
And then they say the Well, 600 was supposed to be made so they can make it cheaper, but
Yeah.
actually turned out to be
And then they made it
more.
Yes.
same
more
or
expensive because
Yeah.
it costs more. It costed more.
Right.
Another thing is that when the PowerPC accelerators start coming out for the 1200s and the big unit, it was too late at that point.
Right. That point is being sold to SCOM, and SCOM didn't care about Amiga. They didn't want anything to do with it, from what I heard from David Plessence's interview with Retro Makerspace.
But if you look back, if you look at processing, the graphic power, the sound power, it was superior over anything
Oh,
else. in the
right,
market.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, I would say, you know, if given enough dedication to making the demake, it can definitely run Crisis.
So now that we have a couple of, I always have a question there. What do you guys think about the Vampire?
I'd like to get one, but
So, you know,
the problem is, for me to justify buying any of those right now, money.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So you can get
I
cheaper.
would like to get one though.
You know, you can get a accelerator right now with a 68LC50, for example, and that's gonna put you around 230 for the 1200. That's right. $200, 230. The question is if the Vampire. There's people that like the Vampire, there's people that hate the Vampire. So I just try to figure out why did they hate it, or who, if anybody have one, what is their experience on the Vampire? That's right. So that's what I really want to know.
There's some games that just don't work right.
Well, that's right, because you're emulating the processor, that's right. That's the problem, emulation, but try right now to get a 6880, that is the best processor you can get. If you can get one, it's about $500.
That's the same processor as a Vampire.
The Vampire is using, is emulating that processor.
So is that one.
Well,
Same
no,
chip.
no, well, you can get right now a Motorola 6880. You're gonna pay the price for it.
You just want that little box?
No, I'm talking about the processor. So you can get a terrible fire accelerator part that they sell it to you for $200 without any processor, with 128 megabyte of RAM, but you have to get the processor. Getting the processor is an issue, that's right, because whoever has them, they're selling about 600 to 700 bucks one unit.
Wow.
So, you know, it get expensive. So the cheapest way is to go to a Vampire that is emulating the processor. But again, there's people that love it and there's people that hate it. I just try to figure out why. So,
It is external.
You haven't heard why they hate them?
no. I know that there's a couple of games that will not run,
Where is this location?
but I expect that. It's talking about all games that you're supposed to run at faster speeds
Yeah,
and
no, I was
faster
just
processors.
curious.
Yeah.
I don't
Like I
know.
said, North Dallas, South Dallas.
Plus,
It's in
give you
Carrollton.
better graphics too, and give you Ethernet and give you a couple of other stuff that a regular accelerator processor will not do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Wow, sounds great.
I would like to see somebody have one, what do they think about it?
There's always trade-offs, there's always games that don't
It's
work
got,
great
it's got
or
stuff that,
There was no
or hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Way it seems to always go.
You get yourself into a lot of trouble with collecting too many
Yeah.
projects.
oh my god.
Just depends on what you want for the future.
My room is basically
So I have
computer
accelerators
reset
in
gone
my
wild.
A500.
And
So my
I'm
A500.
actually looking
I
at
don't have a hard drive,
to strip
I have
off
a
some of the stuff that's on
SD
Celsius.
Yeah.
So it would offer me a
I've got a
have a
Apple
6830
color monitor.
64
Like a
128
monitor
of RAM
because
Yeah.
I have
and
too
2
much stuff.
megabyte thick RAM.
Yeah, you find some monitors for sure.
Mine is a little bit
Stuff you
older.
have on that doesn't
That's
cost
it,
much.
mine's electronic.
At least you don't have, at least you don't have a Data General Nova Forces.
64 gigabyte.
Or at least you don't have a storage unit, I guess.
Well, I'm going to be getting a storage
Yep.
unit actually.
That's,
It's not filled, but I'm going to be buying a storage unit to move my stuff in temporarily and live over there. That's what I'm saving up for. Because not only am I saving up for a car, I'm saving up for an apartment too.
Mhm.
Because
All of them I put
I'm living in an apartment right now. I'm getting ready to move out. And
Those are always
I'm moving
fun.
back into my
That
parents'
way I don't
place.
have to deal with
Then
floppy anymore.
I'm moving
If I need to use
into
floppy, I
my other
connect the
apartment,
external.
which I'm
I'm
saving
not
up
sure.
for.
After
And the 1200, I don't have an accelerator yet because I'm interested.
Oh, is that the
You
bottom?
gotta like pan over and see this.
Yeah.
This is the Data General Nova 4, huh?
It's insane.
And you actually have this machine for yourself.
I do. Unfortunately, the keyboard is in really bad shape, so if anyone's out there that has a spare one for parts, I would like to buy it.
Yeah, because your keyboard, you posted a picture of it online, and
Yeah, so what happened was years ago the machine actually fell on top of the keyboard, which, you know, it's smashed.
Yep.
It is smashed. But, you know, the terminal itself is in good shape. I just need the keyboard.
yeah, terminals are like cockroaches, right?
Something like that.
Hey, Howard's joining us. Cool.
SSD in it.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's
The
really wonderful.
possibilities now for expanding these systems are awesome these days.
Oh, yeah. Hey! Wow, Howard Rodell. Haven't heard from him in a while.
All right, finally.
Final?
Yeah.
Hey, David, you want your water?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
We were anticipating no AC for this.
Oh yeah, luckily this is a cooler part of the space.
Oh, yeah. Have they been having AC problems?
Yeah,
Still
the
broken?
I have no idea. I haven't been back there, but yeah, the big rooms where they usually have the big meetups for the retro groups were sweltering in there.
Oh,
wow. Yeah, that was miserable.
Mhm.
And there should be one file in there, I believe. Open it up.
Let's see, what are we looking at over here?
That's it. Just one file.
Yeah.
Just copy that over.
Sorry, kind of in the way.
Any thoughts on the Amiga 1 systems?
I think they were pretty cool.
Wasn't there a guy on Craigslist that had one for sale for a long time?
Yeah.
Mm.
Really
He
not.
emailed us in our
Hadn't
group,
looked
I think.
lately.
Was it what?
Hadn't looked lately.
Oh, I think he may have actually sold it finally because I think I refreshed it and it went away.
How much did you try to sell it for?
I don't remember. It was
He
one
was
of
asking a lot, I think.
2,500 or something at
I think
least.
so, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quite a bit for it.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a price like that is going to make it stay on Craigslist.
Not really. yeah.
You will be
Depends on the item.
surprised. It depends if you want it, that's right.
Yeah, somebody took
What
it.
you wanted, how many
Yeah.
others are available?
That's absolutely true.
I want to get hold of a Pegasus. Always liked the name.
Pegasus?
Yeah, they had a Pegasus. It wasn't a. Oh, what was it? A MorphOS computer?
On more
Yeah.
for it.
Mhm. PowerPC.
What I want to get is one of those, because you know you have the
Oh, yes.
or style PCs now, where they're PCs, but they're built into the keyboard.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Commodore 64 or Amiga. Now, I kind of want to get one of those and run Amiga OS on that.
Like MorphOS or
Yeah,
another one.
You can get the Apollo.
yeah. There's I think it's called CyberTech. I think it's called CyberTech PCs. They have like a 2008, 2009 PC. That was in that form factor. Surprised that those haven't taken off, but
They look cool.
yeah, they really do. I'm like, oh, that looks like a modern Commodore 64.
Did they make one recently? Because I remember they made one like 13 years ago or something.
2012,
12, okay.
but I don't know. I don't know what their latest model is.
Got me curious. Because, yeah, they remind me of an old Atari or an ST or Amiga, you know.
Well, me, but
Got the file transfer going.
Yeah, exciting.
Oh yeah. Woo. That's a big image, isn't it?
It's
Well, it's just
four-
we're going
four
really slow for
gigs.
some
It's
reason.
not that big, but
Mhm.
still.
Gotta love Windows and 15 megs a second tops.
Well,
I don't know if that's just a Windows
that's-
thing, but to be honest, but
It has to be depending on what version of the thumb drive and
Yeah,
the
it
port.
was a 3, but
so,
maybe not. Well, I don't think it's blue.
sorry, it was CyberNet that made them.
Cybernet, huh?
Yeah, Cybernet, all in one. Yeah.
Check that out.
CPC, I think is what they're called.
Okay.
2.7 gigahertz i5, 320 gigabyte hard disk drive, 8 gigabytes of RAM. $200.
Not bad.
Yeah, they look cute.
Oh yeah.
Never seen those.
Well, keep your eye for that 500 coming.
Oh,
That-
the 500 mini.
Well,
It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. So it's just a
They're gonna make
keyboard,
full size one.
and the
I'm
CPU's
waiting
in
for
there.
a
Huh?
working keyboard.
Keyboard,
yeah, I
PC,
was saying, like, I
quad
wonder
core.
if they're gonna make a maxi.
I don't know if I got the right one.
Maxi version, 'cause I know they
Quad
make
core,
the
8 gigabytes. Maybe that is
That's
it.
what he was talking about, I
When's
think.
that supposed to come out?
I'll wait to see how well
I wanna see the
it
back of it,
is.
man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Has been
I
sold
would
out.
buy a mini, but
Really?
Yep.
They said it well?
There's the rear.
$300.
Wow, very ST like, you know, all the ports in the back.
They've
Yep.
really been selling well?
A couple of MIDI ports
I
to
don't
boot,
know.
huh?
Did it have a MIDI port?
I didn't see a MIDI port on this one. I think by then that was kind of passe.
I'm afraid so.
It was about this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody thought the
This
keyboard.
normal
it
PS2
looked
looks like, and then a serial.
Uh-huh.
It's the SPDIF there for
Okay,
digital audio.
So how much are they
You can run the
selling?
OS on it.
Networking VGA.
Yeah, but how much are
HDMI.
they selling those for? The 300
It's like they just said,
bucks, right?
okay, well, if the port exists, let's just put it on here.
150?
150, I thought.
So 150 bucks,
Well,
huh?
I think that's
Wow, not bad.
170 or somewhere.
But if you
Well,
look, you
maybe
find one
it was
cheaper though.
150 euros.
Yeah,
I
probably
thought it was
so.
150 US. Maybe with shipping, I don't know.
Might have been 150 euros now.
Let's see.
What's that?
It might have been 150 euros a few months ago. And
Yeah.
Could have been, yeah. Now, I don't know what the euro
170,
is.
180.
Less than $1, I
Everybody's
think.
jacking the price because it's hard to get
Here's one for
components.
90.
so-
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Get a Cybernet ZP.
Oh, it's more like a game console. It's in the box, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, the CC
Yeah.
632?
Got one in the box for 90.
Hmm.
60.
there you
one
go.
For 60. Hey,
Getting
this
close.
is getting close to my try it range.
Yeah.
That's neat. That's really neat.
Now this Motorola inside shirt.
I pulled that out today just for the obvious, you know.
Yeah, now
Makes me wish I wore my compact shirt.
it makes me wonder about
Oh,
trademark
oh,
We just
violations.
stood side by side. That would have been great.
Oh yeah.
Trademark issue?
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, yes. Here we go. Yeah, I got the Motorola inside there.
Was this an actual Motorola shirt, or was it
No.
just somebody's some knockoff?
Just something goofy, you
I
know.
see.
I'm sure Intel would have seen this.
Something that
Yeah, of
Atari
course.
users were wearing, you know, some time back. And of course, it also fits for Amiga too.
Yep.
Right. Well,
Amazing.
Sega Genesis as well.
Yeah, Sega and Mac.
You're a Sega user.
Mm. Basically everything
I was
besides the
supposed to get a
PC.
Sega Terra drive, but
Right? That works
Yeah,
out.
sorry.
That's okay.
All right.
All right, we're on. Let's see. Pop this in our SCSI drive.
There you go.
Okay.
How's your fingers now?
what
Yeah.
are we doing?
It's 20 bucks more.
Nice.
That's only if it works.
Hey! It's retro
Yeah.
stuff, you never know.
So what is this?
Go.
It's a SCSI emulator that's basically loading up images,
Oh, that's cool.
like a blue SCSI, but not exactly a blue SCSI.
By the way, minus 10 points to Commodore for having the power switch on the brick instead of the actual computer.
I know, right? At least you don't have to plug it and unplug it. Come on, see, I got fingers crossed. Also, you may want to have your tongue off to the left.
I think it's still just looking at the bus.
You sure that there's no jumpers or anything on the car that you need to set up?
There's jumpers there. There's 4 of them. But I left them the way they said you don't have to touch them. There's one for boot, and I tried them before.
But
Charm.
you just,
There's
that,
the termination one on
Yeah.
there. Maybe we try turning the termination
Right,
off.
I tried it before, but
Okay.
now it's like, we can try it again, that's fine.
so I only put one file, there's no configuration file on there.
You don't have to have the configuration file.
Okay, just asking.
I showed him where to get it, but we'd have to probably work on that later or something.
Yeah, I tried these before, but they didn't seem to, let's see, there's the boot and term, take the Terminator.
Yeah, I mean, you can try without it.
Such cute little switches.
Oh, there's just a dip switch.
Yeah.
Nice.
Four of
Oh, that's
them.
easy. Yeah, right there.
There's boot term, DGB or DBG and SW1.
Looks like very creative.
Yeah. Would you like to come with us? They invited you.
Try 16 different combinations.
They're asking where I was, and I was like,
Hey,
oh,
something different?
Actually, it seemed like it was reading.
like their thing I going out to James, and they were saying if they'd like to
That was
come
more.
closer to.
That was different.
Trying to reboot again.
So unless you want to eat somewhere in downtown Carrollton, there's not exactly a lot of good restaurants real close by.
Dave's Chicken is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Babes is great.
Yeah, there's. I mean, in town there's a lot of good stuff, but
By the way, Babes gets absolutely outgunned by Main Street Cafe's potato chip chicken. Not sponsored, by the way.
coated with potato chips, I guess, huh?
We have our own Commodore and Atari-esque battle with that battle chicken.
Like I said, I got your email.
That showed nada.
Fried chicken breaded by
Let me try,
potato
I'll
chips.
switch
That sounds amazing.
The best thing I've ever put in my
See what
mouth.
happens.
It is good.
You've been there?
No, but I made it myself at home.
I was gonna say I'd have
Yeah.
Stacy make
I
it. I'm
did see
sure.
one guy
Oh, yeah.
on
Didn't have to make it.
Yeah.
on the internet. There was like an image of a guy making
What's the name of this
it
car?
out of making that same thing out of
This car?
Doritos.
Mhm.
I really
Zulu's
wanted to try that.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing out of cornflakes right after college.
Dude, get your roommate to cook it.
Scuzzy.
You just mostly
I don't even want
No, he's gonna do anything that
to
way.
try my roommate's cooking.
Oh no.
It's crappy. It doesn't clean a bathroom. So
It's the
it's
worst.
a
It is
worse
the worst.
situation.
He says his cooking is amazing. His cooking is worst at best.
Oh no. Yeah, I had the
The thing is
pleasure.
still
Of,
rolling, man.
Yeah,
Try that.
I'm surprised.
Yeah. So
Like I said, I'm wondering if it's just saying that it was bad and then maybe the guy replaced it or fixed it or whatever. Whoever had it before this dude.
when you continuously build your Amiga over
I should
time,
also
so
put a log file on.
Because yeah, this isn't going to be like
Gimbal issues again, sorry. Bear with me.
Project. This is going to be like at least
Gimbal.
2 years, maybe
Well, we
3
just cleaned it, but
of the project.
you know, when you progressively get parts for it, maybe the
Oh, my
parts
phone
will be,
flipped. Dang it.
Not dying off, but shut off.
See if I can-
Kind of like what it has right here.
Get this thing righted.
It's under load.
Okay.
The only
There we
thing I
go.
can- is that negative 12, and I think
yeah, it's not
that's
showing, drive's not
capacity.
showing up. Just the floppy.
I think that you can, for me, it looks fine.
Greg, you taking care of the chats, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just
Sweet.
yakking on there every so often.
Oh, good.
For me, it looks fine.
Let's
Just
go
close it,
back.
I would say,
Position.
take your time, get the
Yeah, it
capacitor
looks
information,
manual.
order it. Yeah.
To be fair, though, I mean, the capacitors might just reform themselves. You never know.
The what?
Reform themselves?
No.
No?
It's electrolyte, it's a liquid. After a while, they just dry it out.
Well, I mean, a lot of times they will
Capacitors
adapt to
now
their
have, like,
situations, though.
Dry capacitors, not wet capacitors, right?
Hmm?
Most capacitors now are just dry capacitors and stuff.
No, the problem is the voltage. High capacitance capacitor, there's still gonna be electrolyte. You can get the tantium and stuff for smaller capacitance.
Okay, good.
So
To
it's
use
your call at that point. Okay. But for let me open. For example, these ones, you will never gonna get those in tantium or solid capacitors.
Nice.
Looks like this is yet another thing that people are.
Okay.
These ones, you can maybe get them depending on the capacity.
I got it, okay.
All right.
So
Now, how am I supposed to...
they're no expensive. I would say you maybe you're looking at about 20 to 30 bucks in capacitors there. All right. Plus your time and effort to replace them. If you don't want to do it yourself, give me a call and you know how much.
One thing I'd like a hybrid, you know, as you're doing, I'd like to watch, learn, see, and learn how to do it, because I'd like to get my confidence up.
That's what I was gonna do.
Because then I would change the boots and then change.
It's not so much as I can't do it, I'm sure, but the correct way to do this, but I don't have the confidence to.
So, yeah, reforming capacitors.
Yeah, I know they talked about, well, on that,
reforming capacitor.
Yep.
Video, he talked about, basically.
That's a bit beyond my pay grade, but I've heard some people doing this, and sometimes just leave a power supply running long enough, and it'll eventually get back into spec with itself. That's all I know.
Electrolyte, as far as I know, when that electrolytic stuff goes bad, that's it.
Next time it,
Well,
wouldn't boot, so I just, like,
what ends up happening is by changing the electric field over the
toggled the boot.
capacitor plates, you can actually get the electrolyte
Save
to
and then toggled it again and then click save.
somehow gel and such. I don't know. I'm not the chemist.
It may be help for a little while, but
Yeah, ultimately, I wouldn't trust it either. I'm always always get them new ones anyway.
I would say anything that is 20 years old and older, it's time. They never designed this to be used at this age.
Yeah, for sure. I always think it's funny though when I fire up like an old IBM from 1981 or something like that. The whole thing still works. It's like ridiculous.
Well, you have to remember that they build in those days. They build the equipment like tanks too.
Oh yeah. But you know, I'll fire it up for a few seconds and then I'll look at, okay, good, it worked. And then I turn it off and then I look for anything bulging, and it's always going to be one that's bulging. Ah yes, let's see. I don't know if you're referring to us, Howard, but we were looking at this Amiga 2000 power supply. This one that they brought in showed that it was shorting after a few hours. We had this one running for quite a while, and it didn't seem to do anything weird. But let's see, this one over there is a 500, so they're messing around with the new SCSI adapter for it. I'm gonna have to send this to myself somehow. Okay.
I appreciate y'all letting us use the screwdriver.
Oh yeah.
Older members on there, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even send out the email for this either. I guess you just picked up on it. Like, I don't see Sal on here, but
I sent a link out to our group.
okay, good. You saw it. I can't just
Ned said he might not make it though.
can't just reply to a message. That would be fun. It's got everything negative but nothing positive. That's sad. So how can I like? I can't just like. Well, let me see if I can.
So in the original,
Just go at sign.
he says I might not be able to make it. I have a lot going
See, I
on.
mean, look, I don't have. Oh, here we go. Good.
I'll have to relay by you.
See, I don't have a Cyrillic keyboard, so it makes this a bit difficult.
If you need to cancel out, that's fine. I'll see what happens. What's happening because, yeah, I need to, because they're thinking,
What do we got?
sooner, like I said, sooner than later. So,
I know what that does.
I'll
try that. I'll see you next time.
Compliance and stuff like that.
What you guys doing?
Stuff. Yeah.
I think we're stuck for now.
No sooner sounds good. Because, yeah, I've got to wake up at.
I would say you guys
3 and
home,
then drive
open it
all the way
up,
to
take a
sleep.
photo of the
We have a
DC,
really nice meal. Get
and
you
send him a copy of the recipe card.
Yeah.
That would be the simplest and simplest way.
They have the matching.
Oh, by the way,
pictures
Steven,
on the,
are you looking for an AS400?
on the Amiga site where you buy them?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, let's see if
Is
I
it
can
big
find
or
a
what?
picture of it.
Yeah.
The way it should
Wait until you see it. It's pretty crazy.
Nice, okay.
The instruction manual, it
Yeah,
does say
Battlefront,
who's
he's
supposed
trying
to
to
be
get-
on. and
he's
it's
trying to
not
sell it.
what it's probably supposed to be on.
for a 386
Yeah, they said basically, just
Another thing that shouldn't be anything is the image there is.
Yeah, here it is.
switch.
Well, that's what I'm telling you, is
Holy
if you're-
smokes.
Some of mine would disappear and not boot.
Yeah, that's a big old AS400. Well, yeah, it's definitely out of that camp, I think.
Oh, wow. Also, if you want to know a funny story about it, he actually got it when he still lived in Sacramento, and he didn't have an SUV to haul it with, so what he did was he actually pushed it across town.
Wow.
And eventually, a friend of his did manage to pick him up in an SUV with the system. So, I mean, the wheels on that AS400 probably have a lot of miles on them right now.
You actually push it on the sidewalk?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Like, I'm sure it went blink, blink, blink or something like that, huh?
I think there are a couple of reasons for very, cleaning, but, Macs have a lot of trash reference files. Sometimes those are good to clean off and you put them on another computer.
Also,
by the way,
I saw
Yeah.
a little video I saw you talking about for Dungeons, a couple of cards, and I got this
Oh,
card.
sweet, it's actually going.
I bought it from them. It came with the card. So I figured the card would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't really tried any other cards either, so.
So, in this case, it just doesn't recognize it at all, even when you put that boot from floppy, I guess that's what we're doing here, boot from floppy in.
Yeah, it didn't seem to recognize it at all. So,
Well, so I got two things I can think of, three.
Wow.
I guess maybe check the file format. You
yeah,
know, the
that's,
name.
that's definitely a possibility. I'm not sure of the right
If that doesn't
file
work,
format.
try another disk image.
Yeah.
See if the disk image works. And with an SD card, sometimes you have the complication of the lock unlock button on the side.
Mm-hmm.
If that's thrown a particular way, that might be throwing it off.
Yeah.
Does a GBP software show?
I don't have it with me. I know I have it at home, a disc, but I just didn't. That's one of the discs I didn't bring. So should have brought that one.
I think the image I have is 8 gigabytes, I'm not exactly sure when I upload that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to go above 4 because you
Yeah.
know the Amiga limitations. So unless you,
Let's just pop a 3.1 on.
yeah, unless you got a fix for it, right?
Yeah.
But I've got 2 and 1.3
Yeah.
on the ROM switcher.
Alright, well,
Probably start closing up, I guess.
Yeah.
Talk about another group in here at 4:30.
they're not gonna be when it's your remover,
No, not really.
Really? Yeah.
At the funeral, there is a long time stalwart member that was always here who passed away.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Sorry to hear
Pretty
that.
much this entirety.
Yeah, it's never fun.
Yeah.
We loved her. She was always a good cheery face for sure.
Hello.
She would have made it easy.
I think the funniest part of
I thought they were someone was doing that.
Slava
Yeah.
guys, and they were talking about how they
Hello.
come together.
Look at me. Zoom. Oops, I'm gonna switch this around. Address the group and say adios. See y'all next month, if not sooner. Take care. From Texas Nerd House. Bye, y'all.
That's what was in the other way. I think we don't know.
Now it's locked?
Dude, that-
Yeah, it was.